All right, thanks for checking out the video today, guys. So today this is going to be video 3 of my GTR series, and today we're going to start taking apart the car that's behind me right now. I really got to start diving into this thing. It is end of May, and this car needs to be completely completed by basically the end of October so that I can get it tuned and get it down to Texas for the GTR Fest. And this car is going to be torn all the way down. You'll see over the next few weeks, it's going to be engine drivetrain out. I'm going to be doing some body modifications, a complete repaint, glass out, and then the whole thing reassembled. So I got to get moving, obviously. I don't want this to be incomplete. I want it to be running, driving, operating car for the GTR Fest. So I am still waiting for a bunch of parts from Japan. I ordered a bunch more engine stuff from Tomei. I ordered some LED lighting from a company in Japan that does LED retrofits for the front and rear lights, and a few other things. So those will be coming. I'll definitely go over those items as well with you guys. So today we're going to remove the rear subframe out of the car. I need to drop the rear diff because I'm getting a code that would point to the accumulator on the diff for the four-wheel drive system. So you can get them out, the accumulators out in the car, but it's a bit of a challenge. I would rather just dump everything out because the subframe I'd like to clean up. I'd like to do bushings. There's a weld-in brace kit that I'd like to do. I'd also like to take the exhaust off the car because I'm going to be pulling the engine out anyway. So today we're going to focus on the rear subframe. So let's get going on that. Okay, so we're gonna head to a shop to get tires moved over. So I'm gonna be moving from the purple T37s to the chrome colored BR wheels, the B5s. And I think it's gonna be a good change up for the car and the design, the style. And so let's get that done right now. All right, we're back at my shop. We got the tires mounted on the wheels. Turned out really nice. I really like this style on the R32 body. Nice big 5-spoke. Now, I was at a 10.5. I dropped an inch, and I have extra wide fenders on the car, so it is sunk in a bit. So I think I may have to get some spacers for the car just to move it out slightly, just to make it a bit more flush, because right now it's a bit sunk in. I've got plenty of fender, and I don't really want to go back to the stock fenders, because I'm going to rework these so that they're perfect. And they are the stock profile, they're just 20 millimeters wider. So probably what I'll do is get a 15 mil spacer and do some extended wheel studs and go from there. But looks really good. All right, so at this point in removing the rear subframe and the rear diff of the car, I'm at the point where I've removed things like the gas tank, some of the suspension, unhooked the drive shaft, dealt with all the wiring. There's 3 wiring harnesses that need to be unclipped. In addition, the rear wheel drive hydraulics need to be drained, and the hose is disconnected as well. So here's the gas tank. I dropped that out as well. Now, what this is beneficial when you drop the tank out doing this, because the tank is not all that difficult to take out. There is 2 hoses that lead to the pump hanger, 2 connectors, the vent for the filler tube itself, and then 2 straps, and you can drop the tank out. Now, dropping the tank out, what that gives you the ability to do is you're in a situation now that you can get to the back frame rail. And realistically, that's where this car should be supported. So if you're not supporting the car on the rear by the subframe, which is coming out, so you can't do that, you really should be supporting it by the rear frame rails. They're very easy to use because they're big and flat, but for the most part they're under the gas tank, so you need to drop the tank out. And why this makes it worthwhile is that everything that's forward of the rear frame rails is very easy to crush. So the rails that are in this area of the car here are very easy to crush, and you just really don't want to put any weight on them. The front jack points on the car, which in an earlier episode I double plated because I wanted to have a nice big surface for a lift. That's where I have some of the weight. And then I have wheels on the car, and that's so that if the car becomes unbalanced, it's low to the ground, and if it happens to tilt forward, the wheels are going to catch it. I don't want this car falling off the lift. So this is something that you guys have to think about when you're getting under the vehicle, is the balance of the car. The R32 GTR, especially when you're removing the rear subframe, seems to be very nose heavy for obvious reasons. There's a inline 6 in the front. It's a big transmission that's in the center of the car, but some of the weight is forward of the center line of the car. This is something that you want to be careful with. You don't want the car to tip and fall off the lift or even off jack stands. So for what I'm doing, I have the nose of the car low to the ground with the wheels on, just for safety. Now this gives me still plenty of room under the car to use a creeper and get under there and undo the 4 big bolts that hold the subframe. I've got a jack ready to go to lower it down, and yeah, so from this point I'm going to be lowering the subframe and the diff onto the floor.
Entire rear end is out. Okay, suspension, sway bars, bracketry, gas tank. And what we're left over is kind of a bare rear chassis here. Okay, so I'm going to be cleaning all this up. There is a bit of rust. It's not severe. It's not like it's blistering. There is one hole sort of near the bottom of the quarter panel, but I have full quarters to go on the car, so I'm going to be doing that. The rear apron's fine. Rear rebar's fine. I mean, that's just surface rust there. The frame rails are fine. Floor is fine, mostly. No big issues. So, going to address all of this and basically paint and epoxy the back half of the car before I put the gas tank back in and the rear subframe and differential. Now, as far as the rear subframe is concerned, I'm going to do all the bushings. You can see subframe bushings are cracked. The rear diff bushings are deteriorated as well. Okay, so now while I'm doing those, I'm going to do bushings up here as well at the front of the diff, near the nose of the diff. I'm also going to take apart this assembly up here, replace this accumulator, because I was getting a code that indicates that that accumulator's gone bad. So I'm getting kind of periodic four-wheel drive. Sway bar end links, sway bar bushings, and some of the various bushings that are on the arms here. I'm also going to blast these arms and paint them nicely. Put everything back together, looking good. Because I want to make sure that I don't have to get into this rear assembly again for a while, right? So while it's out, just do everything. So I'm going to get that done.
So behind the scenes, to make these videos possible, I've taken on a sponsor, and that is AFR Autoworks in Red Deer, Alberta. So if you guys want to support the channel and you want to support vendors that support this channel and help me make videos, head on over to AFR Autoworks store, check out some of their promotional items, maybe buy a hat, some gear, and whatever purchases you make will come back on me and this channel and help support me make videos. So if you do like the channel and you do like the content, make sure you support the vendors and the sponsors that support me and my channel. So head on over to AFR Autoworks store. Thanks. All right, guys. So at this point, I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Not much of a break, like just a week or so, to get caught up on GTR stuff. So I pulled apart the rear end completely. Let's take a look here.
Okay, so explosion of parts here. And there's a few things that need to be done that are going to take more than a couple days. So I got to take a little break and just get down to business. So on the rear subframe, the rear bushings have been replaced. Those are from Super Pro. So that's to stop the diff from twisting. Okay, so they take a bit of abuse. As well on the diff, I replaced the front bushings again with the Super Pro units. Here, I'll show you the, these are the part numbers for each of those right here. Okay, so I've got the subframe pretty much completely torn down. I'm going to be replacing the 4 main bushings with these guys here from G-Tech. I'm also going to be doing the weld-in brace kit for the diff and the arms. I'm also going to tear down these, put in extended wheel studs, as well as change the emergency brake shoes while I'm here. And everything else is going to be a lot of cleaning and reassembly. I'm also going to go through the pump that goes on top of the rear diff. I have a new gas canister here. I think I called this an accumulator earlier. It's not really an accumulator, it's pressurized gas to actuate the front diff. So all of this I'm going to go through, clean up these lines while I have the opportunity, because you can actually get to it when the diff's out. All right, so all this I'm going to be doing in the next week or so. It's going to be a lot of sandblasting and stripping and painting, things like that. Maybe stuff that's not all that interesting. So I will pop back in with you guys in a week and a half or so to show you the finished project, which is going to be the complete rear end reassembled and all detailed. So that should be good. And then I will have to start working on the body work on the rear of the car. And that's going to be a mission as well. But that's how it goes. I'm basically working my way from the back of the car to the front. And it's going to be a complete paint job. I have to also pull the rear glass because I'm going to do some quarters on this car. Make sure everything's fresh for GTR Fest. So that's where we're at. All right, guys, thanks for checking out the video today. So I will be continuing with periodic Evo videos, as well as continuing the Skyline build over the next few months. I'm also probably going to attend a few car shows here and there and throw that up on YouTube as well. So stay tuned. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that bell to make sure that you get notified whenever I put up new videos, and as well, come visit me on Instagram at Wrench Rampage. Have a good night.